Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I look a lot worse this week because my camera decided to break 15 minutes into our attempt to record this episode. So it's going great, but hey, no one died this week. So we have that going for us. St. Patrick's Day is next week. So we are going to be breaking down some Irish things and doing a bracket of that. So stick around. It'll be a lot of fun. They're eating the dogs, Ciarnan, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the dogs.
You know that?
They were
They're
eating
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years will just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to this school. Recruits are going to see this.
You have, as some fans have put it, a mascot flashing their pop tussie out.
Oh, God, that's going to be part of our intro next year.
One thing I will say, Ciarnan, as my camera's broken, I hate this. I can't put into words how much I hate this.
What?
I feel like there's a bad delay now with my camera being all messed up.
No, it seems fine to me.
All right, perfect. But what I was going to say with our intro, I can't wait for spring and summer because you can see when it's daylight out with this window right here, and it's pitch black, and I hate it. It makes me sad.
Well, I mean, we did get daylight savings time, so it's getting up there anyway.
That's true. Thank God. How you doing, though, Ciarnan?
I'm doing well. How are you, man?
I'd be better if we didn't just waste 20 minutes having to re-record this. I promise I'm not going to be complaining about it the whole episode. But, not fun. I hate technology. Man discovering fire was a mistake as I try to build my entire career around that technology. But anyway, speaking of mistakes, Brian Kelly is in the news talking about LSU on Sirius XM this week. He said Lane Kiffin's roster at LSU cost $40 million for this upcoming year. Ciarnan, what are your thoughts on the Lane train?
Was this the most expensive roster? Like Texas Tech had what, 28 million, right?
They had 28, yeah.
28 million, yeah. So like it's insane how much revenue these guys are generating. I use the term revenue extremely liberally because it's boosters and it's people still paying under the table to get guys to their teams.
Oh yeah, no, they're backdoor deals and all that. It's insane. But this is these schools aren't announcing what they're paying their football team. They don't want to. They don't want that coming out. It would be not a good look. I think this is the norm. I think the good schools, the historically good schools, Alabama, Ohio State, I almost Ole Miss, probably Penn State, LSU, Georgia, they're paying their guys $40 million. Maybe not Penn State, but the other ones.
Let's be real.
Ones that have taken football seriously in the past 20 years are paying their teams $40 million, if not more, I would guess.
Yeah, it's just wild. I don't even know how it's possible to have this sort of this revenue. I always knew that the revenue was there from TV deals, sponsorships, the whole 9 yards. Yes, there's money in football. There's no doubt about that. But it just seems like this select group of individuals are being paid an astronomical sum of money to, still at, 18, 19, 20 years old. Now, keep in mind, I know they're going to make that come, 4 years down the line, but it's just boggling to think that these guys are the ones that are they're making all this money while still attending a university and still technically getting a degree.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily have an issue with it. I think they deserve it. I think it's a bargain too. I mean, you look at the NFL salary cap; it's $302 million next year. Mm-hmm. It's so $40 million, not that bad. Their roster's bigger. But on top of that, I think the Alabama Crimson Tide or the LSU Tigers or the Ohio State Buckeyes are more important to their town's economies than somewhere like the Chicago Bears. Chicago's got other things going on. They don't need the Bears to make money as a city, and that's why the Bears are moving to Indiana. But I think these guys deserve it. I think it's not that crazy amount of money, and for what they do for their local communities, I have zero issues with it.
Well, I mean, it's much easier for an NFL team to uproot and move cities than it is for an entire university to shift where they're playing. Like they really don't have that sort of leeway of just moving where they want. So
what are you talking about? Miami plays like an hour away from campus.
Okay, but Miami also doesn't have their own stadium, or at least not to the capacity that is required for games like that. But here's the thing, right? Yeah, it's an hour away, but it's still in Miami, right? You can't go an hour away in Pennsylvania and reach either Philadelphia or Pittsburgh or Harrisburg, which is the state capital. State's capital. Capital. So like there's no chance you can move. You can get anywhere in state college. And I don't know what it is like in Tuscaloosa. I suspect it might be a similar situation. But like there's just they don't have that option.
That's fair. You go an hour and from Tuscaloosa, you're going to hit Birmingham.
Oh, okay. All right. So
you go an hour from Auburn, you're going to hit Birmingham. That's why they used to play there. And Alabama used to do that. They used to play most of, if not all, their big games at Legion Field in Birmingham. So I don't know. I think it's interesting, but I think we're going to see that number A go up and B more schools come out and say, yeah, no, we're spending. Or people saying no, they're spending more.
Wild.
We will have $100 million roster within 5 years.
That's an insane thing to say. Like, because NIL literally just started. It's like when we think about it, in terms of like college football as a whole and just football as a sport in general, NIL is like a blip on the map, and it's already completely out of hand.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And as we're talking about things that are out of hand, Trinidad Chambliss, was given an injunction against the NCAA allowing him to play. The NCAA is appealing that decision. Per Pete Thamel, they claim NCAA members and athletes will be irreparably harmed if Trinidad Chambliss is allowed to play. And my other question is, this is where you draw the line. Now is when they'll be irreparably harmed, not when Diego Pavia did it. Not when you had Brandon Whedon at the age of 90 playing against other athletes. Now, he did go to baseball, but I'm just confused why this is where they're willing to make their last stand. Ciarnan, what are your thoughts on Trinidad and Tobago trying to play another year and the NCAA?
I'm on the NCAA side with this. I think like they need some sort of win. They need some sort of statement to say like, look, you're done, right? You're done. You've spent your time in college. You have had more than enough opportunity to get a degree. This is your time to now go into the draft and have your chances and let somebody else come up and be the next quarterback of Ole Miss, right? And this goes for any school, but like it's time for the next generation of players to come up and do this. And I'm sorry that you didn't win a national championship, but guess what? You're not going to, most of the schools don't get second chances like that. Yes, your Ohio States, yes, your Alabamas, yes, your Georgias will get second chances at stuff like this because they are notoriously consistently good. But teams like Ole Miss, especially with the departure of Lane Kiffin, is not going to be in the same situation that they were last year, for better or for worse. But the thing is, I'm with the NCAA. This has to stop. I'm willing to let them say, okay, this is the final line in the sand. There's no more after this.
I would argue I would have more belief in Ole Miss getting back now that they don't have Lane Kiffin, because Pete Golding showed something that Lane Kiffin could not do at Ole Miss. I'm not saying that the NCAA shouldn't do anything. I'm just saying this is a weird place to draw the line. Trinidad Chambliss is a big part of his argument is, medical red shirts. He was at a lower level than the FBS level. So that's an issue, but Diego Pavia doing it was fine. They should have said, hey, look, we know you had the COVID waiver. Eligibility is getting crazy right now. We'll accept this one, but going forward, you get X amount of years. That's it. We don't care what you do with them. That's all you get.
Yeah, but the thing with Diego Pavia and all the others that came before him is I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, those guys were also slightly older than Trinidad Chambliss, but also in the same token, Trinidad Chambliss is a bigger name than everyone that's came before him. Like he is really good, right? Let me put it to you this way. There's no reason he shouldn't be going into the draft. I'll put it that way. Like he is good enough to make it. Now, whether he's going to get out there first season and start and be unstoppable, no idea. But is he a very solid backup if you need him? You want to throw him in a second down situation and just have the defense react? Yeah, sure. But he's good enough to do that. There's no need for him to be trying to get a sixth year. Like, there's no reason for him to try and, I don't even know what the methodology is, but like suing the NCAA or whatever to get that sixth year. There's no point. Like, he's good enough to be in the NFL. You don't need another year in college.
I think if he has another good year in college, though, he will potentially play himself into a first round pick.
But that's my point. Is like I don't even think he needed that. I think he could have done it this year and been completely fine.
I think teams will start being more concerned about someone without a lot of games started at the highest level. You look at what Trey Lance did at North Dakota State and how he struggled in the NFL. You look at Anthony Richardson at Florida and how he struggled in the NFL. I do think that teams are going to start being a little more wary of this. I also don't think Trinidad Chambliss is good enough at any one particular thing to overcome that. You look at Anthony Richardson. He was an athletic freak, so teams ignored kind of the Bill Parcells rule where you need to be a starter for X amount of years. I think Trinidad Chambliss is a good athlete. I think he'll be a pretty good athlete for the NFL. He's a smart, good thrower of the football. But I don't think he has that one skill where people overlook it. I do think he does need more time in college starting to get that first round grade or maybe even second round grade.
See, that's wild to me because I'm looking at Trinidad Chambliss and I'm looking at like his athleticism, his ability, his throwing capability, all these things. And I'm like, you know what that would be perfect for? The practice squad / second string of an NFL team where he has time to learn under a consistent coach, under somebody else who's either on their way out or has a great repertoire, and build that guy. And guess what? Teams will go out and they'll get him second, third round, whatever it might be. But then they're like, great, we didn't have to waste a pick on him coming out in 2026 or the 2027 draft because we got him in the second or third now, and now we can go and develop him the exact way we want. To me, that's completely asinine. Like, why doesn't that make more sense?
In 2025, Cam Ward got a $48.7 million 4-year contract. The highest pick in the third round gets a $6.44 million contract. So that's a big part of why he wants to go back. If he can play into a first rounder pick, he is going to 4, 5, 6x his money. And he'll be getting money in college.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not saying the NFL should care, or not the NFL, the NCAA should care about why he's doing it. I'm saying this is why he wants to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. All right.
But also, he could tear his ACL in week 1 and become a
That's
6th-round pick
yeah.
and
That's
half his money.
that's
It's
my point.
risk
It's
reward.
insane. But like,
It's risk reward.
yeah, I get it. I
But-
get it. But you want to play in the big game. You want to win it all. You want to be a first-round draft pick. But guess what? That's probably not going to happen. And if you go back and you shit the bed, a waste of a year.
Yeah, Drew Aller. A waste of a year. Speaking of wasted years, Kieran, we do need to talk about the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Okay.
Because I saw something on Sports Illustrated this week, and Gamecock fans, sit down. We need to have a chat. We can't keep doing this every year. Every year, South Carolina is not going to be the shock improved team in college football or the SEC. You are setting yourself up for heartbreak and failure. I'm sorry, Beamer ball is not it with Shane Beamer. Please get help.
It's the same kind of delusion that I feel like Penn State fans have. It's just, yeah, you're not it, buddy.
No, it's not great, and that's something I needed to get off my chest. I needed to put that PSA out there. I don't think we really have much to talk about with it.
I mean, the only thing is, like, they've got a couple of returning guys, Lenore Sellers, and I think that is a good thing for a team to have guys returning. But you are right. I don't think it's going to be so impactful that it's going to change the trajectory of South Carolina. But look, if it gives the fans some hope. Actually, I shouldn't say that, because I would say the same thing about Penn State and be totally pessimistic about it.
It's the hope that kills you, Kieran.
Yes, it is the hope that kills you.
Plus,
so maybe this is a bad thing.
And I do want to talk about that real quick. You did say they're bringing back a lot of returning guys. This isn't exclusively about Lenore Sellers, but it kind of is, because he was disappointing last year from what people expected. Bringing back a bunch of returning starters does not matter if all of the starters sucked. Like, oh, the 2016 Cleveland Browns brought back their entire starting roster.
Yes,
okay,
you do make a good point.
That's a bad thing. And bringing back one starter from that team was a bad idea. Why would you bring back all of them? Yes, every starter should be benched. Except Lenore Sellers, I think he's the best chance they have to be somewhat successful. But yeah, they went 1-7 in the SEC last year, tied with Auburn and Mississippi State, and had one more win than Arkansas. And yeah, no, South Carolina, you're not back. You're not the shock team of college football. I don't know how else to tell you guys that. You need to come to terms with it.
We are going to look like proper idiots if they go above 750.
I don't think they will.
No, I'm just saying we will look like idiots.
I think they might make a bowl game. If they go 6-6, they should consider themselves lucky. But yeah, but moving on to more not sex scandals, alleged scandals out of the Big Ten. Ohio State President Ted Carter has resigned over an inappropriate relationship. Someone did report him to the University Board of Trustees, saying he had an inappropriate relationship with someone. Inappropriate relationship with someone seeking to state resources to support her personal business. The Columbus Dispatch asked the university to clarify the nature of the relationship, and the board member that they spoke to said he didn't know if the relationship was romantic. What is going on in the Big Ten, Kieran? What is this?
Well, I don't even have words for this. It's just, guys, keep it in your pants, please. Like, why can't we get back to scandals that involved just like drugs and parties, just like simple stuff, right? It's all horrible things nowadays. Like, why can't we get back to illegally paying players, or players having, or a coach using college funds to cover gambling debts? Simpler times, Kev.
Simpler times. This is what they took from you when they
Yeah.
instituted NIL.
Yeah.
I will say, though, we are moving in the right direction. Ted Carter just resigned. He did not show up at this woman's home, threatening to kill her and then himself. So progress.
I mean, I guess. I hate that that's progress, but sure.
Oh, so do I, Ciarnan. So do I. Don't you worry about that. I'm not happy with this. I'm happy with the progress. I'm not happy that it is progress.
Yeah. Oh,
goodness. The bar is literally on the floor.
Yeah. And they still can't get over it.
Big Ten lowering the bar since 1904. I don't know when the Big Ten was founded.
That's fine. I don't know either.
We talked about this last year extensively when each conference was founded. I cannot remember.
Yeah, but we're going through a million different dates. We're not going to remember every single thing that we talked about.
That's true. We're going to Google it real quick, Ciarnan, because I got to know. 1896.
Yeah, not too far off.
As the Intercollegiate Conference of Faculty Representatives. Okay. Thrilling. But, Ciarnan, we're going to stay in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Because Penn State is suing a MLB Draft League team because they want to use a stadium that was funded by Commonwealth taxpayers and the Spikes themselves. This is a statement from the State College Spikes, the team they're suing. They funded a $20 million grant, and now Penn State's saying, well, no, you signed a lease with us, and we're saying you can't use it anymore. And now they're suing the Spikes. So, Ciarnan, what are your thoughts on your college suing a slightly below minor league level team?
It's just gone from bad to worse, Kevin. It's just gone from bad to worse. First, we can't win a game to save our lives or make a playoff or do anything productive. And now our university has taken it upon themselves to be the worst person, the worst entity in this arrangement, because it's not like they were going to use that field for anything other than baseball. So what's the point in trying to bulldoze it and kick them out? It's like, if what they're saying is true, that this is a taxpayer funded stadium, right? Then the Spikes have every right to use it. And I don't think Penn State has a single leg to stand on in this case. Also, you guys aren't using it during the summer. So, what does it matter when they play? I don't know. It just seems bonkers to me that they're trying to actively uplift it. If they did have a genuine lease and Penn State built the stadium and cleared the grounds and did all that and said, hey, can we play here? And then just didn't renew the lease, that's one thing. But to have the Spikes and the taxpayers fund the actual stadium, okay, now it's public use, right? That seems like the logical thing.
Yeah, no, this is a bad look, Ciarnan, for Penn State. And they had better hope. I hope they lose.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I hope they lose. I'm not saying you all disagreed. I hope they lose badly, and I hope it's dismissed with prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
However, Penn State had better hope they win. Because after that football season last year, the jokes, Penn State's so bad they can't even beat an MLB draft or whatever an MLB Draft League team. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're giving every rival ammunition until the end of time.
Yeah, very, very true. Yeah, that's particularly bad. I honestly, I want them to lose. I will say that on the football field, I want them to win every single game by 1,000,000 points. Here, I very much want them to lose.
That's fair. No, you can want Penn State to win football games, but still lose in the court of law most of the time.
Yeah.
If a Penn State legal case is in the news, they're in the wrong. That's just a safe assumption to make about Penn State.
Yes, that is very, very fair.
But Ciarnan, moving on to our bracket.
Yes.
And I'm excited for this one because with St. Patrick's Day right around the corner, we are doing our Irish bracket where it's just Irish things. And our first matchup is Michael D. Higgins' Dogs versus the Fighting Irish. And Michael D. Higgins is a former president of Ireland who has 3 Bernese Mountain Dogs. And my God, they are large dogs, and he is not a large man.
No. He is the Irish equivalent of a literal leprechaun. Look at his face.
I thought a leprechaun was the Irish equivalent of a leprechaun.
Well, okay, yeah, I might have misspoke. He is our leprechaun.
He's the king leprechaun.
Yes.
President leprechaun. Sorry.
No longer president.
Former president leprechaun. I just wanted to correct the king thing because, like America, Ireland did fight a long war about not having a king.
Yes, very true.
Actually, the war wasn't bad in terms of length. But then this following civil war and then the following civil unrest and the 200 to 300 years of political oppression beforehand makes the war seem a bit longer.
Yes. Generally does.
But Ciarnan, back to the bracket. Michael D. Higgins' Dogs versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Well, if we've learned anything from this podcast and from college football in general, is that the Fighting Irish cannot win a big game. And this is included. Give me Michael D. Higgins' Dogs.
That's true. Also, Michael D. Higgins would have been included as well, but I thought Dogs was funnier.
Yes.
But to add to your thing, Ciarnan, to your point, Notre Dame is in France.
Yes.
University of Notre Dame is in Indiana. Why the hell are they the Irish? They're fake Irish. Give me Michael D. Higgins' Dogs as well. I don't care about scores. 1 billion to nothing. All right, Ciarnan. Out of the frying pan into the fire for Michael D. Higgins' Dogs.
Yeah,
as they're going up against maybe one of Ireland's most notable inventions.
Yes.
Guinness.
Yeah. It was, you know what? It was a very brief, very short, very storied, very impactful way to make it in to the tournament. Unfortunately, they had to go up against the juggernaut that is Guinness. And I just, as lovely as they are, it's the creamy pint for me.
That's true. Yeah, no, it's nothing beats a nice creamy pint. Next up, we have our 8 versus 9 matchup, Ciarnan.
Mm-hmm.
We have Ciarnan versus Kerrygold. And now, Ciarnan, the important question here. If you win and advance to the next round, will you make me butter?
Like from scratch?
Yes.
I guess.
All right. I'll vote for Ciarnan. Ciarnan, where are we going on this one? Are we voting for you or Kerrygold butter?
I am honored that I am so highly ranked in this graph. However, literally nothing, barring a couple of things, on this lineup is beating Kerrygold.
That's fair.
It's too good. It's too good to be messing around with anything that I should advance.
You are the expert, Ciarnan, so I will. Kerrygold will advance. I will say though, you saying how proud you are to be rated so highly in this. One of the competitors was literally Notre Dame, and we also have terrorists on this list. So maybe don't be that proud. Just you're not a terrorist.
Hey, look, I would have been happy with 14. All right.
That's
no. Kerrygold, not me.
Oh, fine. There we go. Kerrygold. Sorry. All right. Now this one, Ciarnan wanted St. Stephen's Day added. This is 5 versus 12. St. Patrick's Day versus St. Stephen's Day. Ciarnan, what is St. Stephen's Day?
So St. Stephen's Day is literally just the day after Christmas. Okay. And as we all know, especially here in America, there is nothing better than co-opting other cultures and using them as an excuse to drink. Now, Christmas, as we know, is probably full of drink already. So why don't you go for a second day between Christmas and New Year's and have another day just as an excuse to go drinking? Anyway, I put this in here because I had to say, like, St. Patrick's Day is more known, but St. Stephen's Day is it's a very, very Irish thing, and not many people would know that. I'm still going to give this win to St. Patrick's Day, but don't let the 26th be an excuse to start your New Year's resolutions too early.
That's fair. I do like the idea of St. Stephen's Day. However, I do think, like you said, St. Patrick's Day will have to go with that one.
Yeah.
Next up, I can zoom out a little bit on this probably now. I didn't want the spoiler alert of you being on here. I didn't want to spoil that. All right, St. Patrick's Day moving on, and they're going to go up against the winner of Tatoes at number 4 versus the GAA at 13, the GAA being the Gaelic Athletic Association. I'm not going to take the lead on anything, but I'll talk about this a little bit instead of just agreeing with everything you say. Tatoes are good. Tatoes are very good. I think they're an acquired taste.
Mm-hmm.
For some people, do not like them. Same thing with GAA sports. Croke Park is very cool. I will say that. But I do think Tatoes are more accessible to the average person over here.
Mm-hmm.
But I love history. So I might go with the GAA keeping traditional Irish sports alive. Ciarnan, where do you land on this one?
I'm right with you. There's a lot of variety with Tato. You can get, salt and vinegar, cheese and onion. There's smoky bacon now is a flavor. There's lots of others, but I'm just naming a couple. But the GAA, just being sports and hurling and Gaelic football, is just so much fun to watch. I have to give the upset to the GAA.
Upset of the tournament so far.
So far, yeah.
All right. No, we're not doing that one yet. We're going to go on to the other side of our bracket now, Ciarnan, to do the first round over here. Michael Collins versus the Irish language, number 3 versus number 14. Michael Collins. If you haven't seen the Michael Collins movie, by the way, you can get over Julie Andrews' terrible accent, it's a very good movie. It's very entertaining. It's very good. Alan Rickman plays Eamon de Valera. Was he the first president of Ireland or just one of the early presidents? I always forget.
I'm pretty sure he was the first. God, I hope
no Irish. I'm gonna go with what
he's listening to this. I'm pretty sure he's the first. Yeah.
And then the Irish language. Ciarnan, where are we going with this one?
Well, from what I can remember, Michael Collins. That's bad. That's really bad. I associated this. He's Kevin spitting out his drink.
Irish War for Hero, Michael D. Higgins. The famed Irish revolutionary Michael D. Higgins and his Bernese Mountain Dogs.
Oh, he survived for so long. Oh, goodness.
Okay. That might be the hardest I've ever laughed on this show.
Okay, we're gonna need a minute to compose ourselves. Stop. Your laugh is making it funnier.
Great podcasting. All right, Michael Collins versus the Irish language. Ciarnan, where are we going?
Okay, we're just gonna go Michael Collins. I'm not gonna try to explain it.
All right, that's fair.
Oh, good. Oh, goodness.
All right.
Okay.
Next up,
Yeah.
the Wolf Tones, the band, versus the city of Boston, not the band Boston. The Wolf Tone slap always hit 10 out of 10. But also being from Boston, kind of hard to go against that. But also, anyone from Boston who says they're Irish probably isn't, unless they're Kieran's cousin or something. Kieran, what are you thinking?
Oh, the Wolf Tones have some great hits. But I do love Boston. I'm gonna defer to you on this one, Kev, because I think I'm too split. I'm too split on the choice.
I'm also too split. This is a tough one. I think really the questions come down to personal opinion or authenticity. What do we care more about in the Irish bracket? Because you do have a large Irish American population in Boston.
Yeah, that's
you have the Boston Celtics, but then you have the Wolf Tones, who are actually Irish.
Yeah.
You know, Kieran, up the raw. We're going with the Wolf Tones.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, that one was tricky. That 11-6 matchup is legitimately tough. I do not know which one I would prefer to. That was a complete toss up, but I like it.
I did too. That was a tough one. All right. Next up, Temple Bar versus the Aer Lingus Classic, which I did not have included until Kieran reminded me of it right before this show. Not a great look. Kieran, where do you think we should go?
Well, here's where I think it's actually the Aer Lingus Classic. And the reason I say that is because A, we've already eliminated the only other college football topic on this list. And so therefore we should probably keep at least one in. Now, both of them are just blatant tourist traps to get Americans to come over and spend way too much money. However, at least the Aer Lingus Classic is using a airline that's based out of Ireland and caters to the American audience by at least putting on college football. And they're actually pretty good games, in all fairness. So give me the Aer Lingus Classic.
That's true. I do agree. Also, you just have the excitement of college football being back with the Aer Lingus Classic. It's electric. I love it. All right. Our next feeder matchup, number 15, the Irish Republican Army versus number 18, Lucky Charms cereal.
I wonder which was more detrimental to health.
I thought you were going to say which was more detrimental to the views of Irish people.
Oh, yeah, probably that too.
Initially, number 15 was Jerry Adams, but then I completely forgot he wasn't in the IRA.
Of course, Kevin.
Never had anything to do with the IRA.
No association whatsoever.
Not at all. He was like I have a retirement account. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's how little Jerry Adams knew about the IRA. All right. Kieran, I'm a dumb American.
Yes.
But Americans like glamorizing the IRA.
Yeah.
They weren't great.
No.
I think we can all agree with them on sticking it to the British.
Yes.
They took it a little too far at times.
Yes, at times, yes.
But Lucky Charms did heavily contribute probably to the obesity epidemic in this country.
Also, yes.
Which is worse?
Lucky Charms is worse.
Lucky Charms worse? All right.
They're both pretty bad. They're not going to make it far in this bracket.
Yeah, no. All right. Now, the IRA versus Jameson.
I mean, another staple of Irishness is Jameson whiskey. It has to be.
Yeah, I don't feel. I felt a little bad for Michael D. Higgins' dogs going into the buzzsaw that is Guinness. I don't feel bad about the IRA running
Yeah.
into the buzzsaw that is Jameson.
Yeah. I think we're okay with that. We've done our
Yeah.
bit. Like we
Yeah.
we've got it.
We can move on now. All right,
Oh no. Oh.
Guinness versus Kerrygold.
Oh no. I can't decide this. I like both
You
of them
can.
way too much. I like both of them way too much.
I think it's Guinness, not just because I'm an alcoholic, but I do think, again, as a dumb American who's been to Ireland all of twice, when you get there, that first creamy pint just hits different.
It does. It does. It does. Yeah, you're right. Kerrygold tastes the same no matter where you go, but the Guinness in Ireland is just something different. Yeah, give me Guinness.
And you could make an argument that just shows Kerrygold's consistently, but
True.
it elevates. Guinness elevates itself. Also, I think American Guinness gets a bad rap. You haven't had bad Guinness until you've had like some of those Caribbean islands who have Guinness and make it there.
Yeah.
That's not great. That one's not good. All right. Next up, St. Patrick's Day versus the Gaelic Athletic Association.
Oh man, this is kind of difficult too.
It's getting hard.
Yeah, it really is. I'm too much of a fan of hurling right now to say anything other than hurling, or the GAA more precisely.
I think this might be the upset of the tourney.
Yeah, you think so?
I think the GAA. I think it's very important.
Oh, it is extremely, yeah.
The history of Ireland and preserving that history. St. Patrick is probably just as important. I don't know if St. Patrick's Day is.
Good point. Good point. The person rather than the actual day. Yeah. No, I agree with you. GAA.
Sorry. GAA. Crazy. All right. On to the other side now. A revolutionary hero, Michael D. Higgins, versus the Wolf Toads. I feel like without Michael Collins, you don't have the Wolf Tones without his success.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
And now at the time, they didn't say what Michael Collins had was success with the setting up of the Irish Free State instead of the independent Ireland that they had hoped for, which then led into the Irish Civil War, which then led to Michael Collins' death. But I think Michael Collins is maybe one of the most important figures in the Republic of Ireland's history.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Maybe not most important, but largest figure.
Certainly.
So I think Michael Collins.
Yeah, this is a much easier choice. Yeah. Wolf Tones are great, but Michael Collins is more important.
Yeah. Do we have to discuss this one?
No, we don't.
All right, cool. Lingus.
Yeah. This is just going to be Jameson versus Guinness, isn't it? At the end.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh no.
All right. The mascot one last week.
Yeah.
Was silly and goofy and fun. This one, I feel like I'm picking between children.
Yeah, very much so. Yes, definitely. This is really difficult.
This is tough. Guinness versus the GAA. My God, what a Cinderella run.
Yeah.
From the Gaelic Athletic Association. Out of nowhere. Nobody saw it coming. I think internationally, Guinness is more recognized as an Irish thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's I would say most people, apart from people like you and I who are like diehard sports fans that will just watch anything, almost nobody knows about the GAA and hurling and Gaelic football as a sport, let alone, GAA as a whole organization. So the only caveat I have to this is kind of what's more important in Ireland as a whole. And the only reason I say that is because there's Murphy's and Beamish, which are both other Irish stouts that probably not many people, especially here in America, might have heard of, or at least more specifically know about more generally as beer lovers. So I'm kind of thinking like we need to maybe stop looking so globally and start looking internally.
It's true. That's a good point.
But is it enough? But is it enough to beat Guinness?
I don't know. I think that's tough.
Yeah.
Because Guinness is a very recognizable brand, very much associated with Ireland. And I know you say we have to look more locally, but I'm sure there are people across Ireland who do not care about the GAA. Just like there are people who don't care about Guinness, but I think that number is probably lower. I do think we can say all day how important it is, the GAA's work preserving Irish culture, while also knocking out the Irish language in round one.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. But I mean, okay, the round one matchup with Michael Collins is really hard to beat.
Yes, that was an unfair matchup. That was an unlucky draw for Irish. But I don't know. I think it's tough. I think it's hard to do. I think if the GAA had a larger international, I don't even know how to watch GAA matches in America if I want to.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I think not just for dumb Americans who want to cosplay as being Irish or weirdos like me who just love sports and also Irish history, but also for Irish citizens internationally who have emigrated to the United States or other countries. I think they need to work on getting recognition up for their history, their sports, and their culture through the GAA by creating a larger international presence. I think Guinness, if it's good or not, it can be argued. Putting forth Ireland's main contribution to the world is alcohol, but I do think it is sort of discussed. It is known, and it is synonymous with Ireland.
Yeah, no, that's very true. But I will say, one counterpoint to what you said earlier, if you don't know that there's a hurling club or a Gaelic football club down the road from you, you're not looking hard enough. Because in all of the major cities, now granted, I know where you live, so not necessarily where you are specifically, but Boston, New York, Columbia, South Carolina, I know has one. San Francisco has one. Vancouver has one. Toronto has one. They all have hurling and Gaelic football teams. Now, it's very hard to get enough people together to form a proper full league, as we would understand it, especially over here in the States, but they are there. And 90% of the time, they're looking for new members anyway. So if anybody's listening to this podcast, go check your local area. I guarantee you there's something.
That's fair. But I think it has to be Guinness.
Yeah, it does have to be Guinness, yeah.
I feel like we knew that going into the argument.
Yeah, we did. We just wanted to talk it out.
Yeah. All right, Ciarnan. Our final semifinal matchup. Michael Collins versus Jameson. Where we landed. I've stuttered a lot on that because I'm just, my brain's in a pretzel. I don't know where to pick.
I think we go Michael Collins here. I think
they do.
While Jameson is a staple and it's universally known, there is plenty of other Irish whiskeys. Now, there are plenty of other Guinness or Irish stouts, but there's only one Michael Collins. So
it's true.
He was so influential that I think we have to give the edge to Michael Collins here.
That's true. I'll agree with you. Initially, I was going to do whiskey because as we all know, Ireland invented whiskey and then took 700 years off from inventing something. It was such a good invention.
Yep.
But it would have been a runaway if it was just all whiskey. No,
Yeah.
that's unfair.
Yeah.
Maybe we will do like a whiskey bracket or something of different, not necessarily types, but brands of whiskey.
Yeah, that could be a fun one.
That could be interesting. I'd have to get some Japanese whiskey and try it, but all right. That's a bit of an upset there, Kieran.
Yeah, but I think it's warranted.
Oh, 100%. It's very well deserved. The only knock on Michael Collins again is Julie Andrews' accent in the movie.
Yeah, and that's not even on him.
No, it's not even on Liam Neeson.
Yeah, who's ironically a Northern Irishman.
Yes. For those who don't know, the Michael Collins movie, Liam Neeson did play Michael Collins, but no, that's strictly on the casting director.
Yes.
That person, I hope, never got another job. But the final matchup, Kieran, of our Irish bracket, Guinness versus Michael Collins.
You lead here.
I lead.
I've been talking about the whole thing, the whole rest of the thing.
It's tough because look, we've talked about Guinness and its international brand recognition with Ireland. They're two cans. I know we kind of joked, or I joked, that Notre Dame is fake Irish, but they do have a partnership with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You can't walk anywhere without seeing something alluding to Guinness. It's worldwide. I kind of shit on other countries' attempts to make it, but other countries are attempting to make it because it's so recognizable. But at the same time, would it have become so recognizable if Ireland was still under Great Britain's thumb? I don't think it would have been. And would Ireland have been free without Michael Collins? Probably, to be honest. They were a thorn in the side, and as things got more destructive, it was harder and harder to ignore. However, would it have happened as quickly as it did? Potentially not, probably with more bloodshed throughout, because you wouldn't have had the Free State, which Michael Collins and others viewed as a stepping stone towards the full independence they wanted. Michael Collins is, we said, probably one of the largest figures in Irish history. I think it's a very tough matchup to go with. I am partially leaning Guinness just because if you walk down the street of, I don't know, Tucson, Arizona, somewhere without a lot of Irish people, and you go, hey, where can I get a Guinness? They'll go, oh, like this bar over here. Okay, and also, do you know who Michael Collins is? No, I've never heard of him. That is more a commentary on the poor education in some parts of the world than it is on Michael Collins himself. But I do think Guinness is a more recognizable name and brand.
That is a really good argument. I'm just thinking there's a song called it's like called The Irish Pub or something like this. And it's like, there's one in Honolulu, there's one in Moscow too, there's 4 of them in Sydney, and 1 in Kathmandu, because you can always go and find an Irish pub. But one of the key distinctive factors of that pub, or distinctive, identifiers of that pub, is a Guinness on tap. So yeah, I mean, you're kind of right. It's gotta be Guinness.
It's a tough one. That's a heavyweight matchup if I've ever seen one, though.
Yeah, seriously, that was good. That
was tough. This was also, I think this was more fun than our mascot one.
Oh yeah, way more fun. Well, also because we're definitely biased towards that sort of stuff, and we know a lot about like Irish history and things like that, just because we like it so much. But yeah.
Yeah, but no, that was enjoyable. So quick recap of how we got here. Michael D. Higgins' Dogs beat the Fighting Irish and then lost to Guinness. Kerrygold beat Ciarnan, then lost to Guinness. St. Patrick's Day beat St. Stephen's Day, lost to the GAA. After they beat Tato's, Guinness versus GAA in the semis. Guinness won out. Then on the other side, you have Michael Collins versus the Irish language. Michael Collins advances. Boston, the city, not the band, versus the Wolf Tones, the band, not the person. Then the Wolf Tones lost to Michael Collins. Aer Lingus Classic beat Temple Bar. The IRA beat Lucky Charms by a score of 26-6. Then the IRA lost to Jameson, and Jameson beat the Aer Lingus Classic. Then you had Jameson versus Michael Collins. Michael Collins won, advancing to face off against Guinness in the heaviest of heavyweight matchups we have ever seen. And Guinness did win out in the end, partially just due to brand recognizability and international appeal, I guess.
Yeah.
So you have it. There's our Irish bracket, and just in time for St. Patrick's Day.
Let's go.
Perfect. The best holiday.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
You have any fun plans, Ciarnan?
An Irish wake.
Nice.
Not nice, but nice.
Yeah.
Just in time. No, it's it's gonna be an absolute bedlam this year, just in terms of everything that's going on, because for those of you who don't know or don't watch anything other than college football, it is the Six Nations Super Rugby Saturday this weekend, where Ireland will be playing for the possibility of winning the Six Nations Championship. So if you tune in early Saturday morning, you can watch them win just before St. Patrick's Day, and everything will be okay.
Perfect. Yeah, it kind of sucks St. Patrick's Day is on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
But
you think that's going to stop anybody?
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. I don't like my job, so maybe I'll just call out sick.
We're not recording next week because we record on Wednesday, and I am going to be in a debilitating hangover all day.
You know, just drink through.
Oh, yeah. I forgot I could do that.
Yeah. Problem solved. Just take off the whole week.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm taking Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I'm taking it off for religious reasons.
Perfect. See, there's your excuse. They can't ask follow-up questions. All right. Everyone, let us know who you would have had winning the Irish Things bracket. What snubs we left off, who we should have included that we didn't. It did pain me to leave off Killian Murphy. It pained me significantly less to leave off Conor McGregor. He would have been a first-round knockout. But everyone have a good, safe, fun rest of your weekend, St. Patrick's Day. Make good choices. Yeah, drink lots of Guinness.
Don't drive. See ya.
Yeah, don't drive. They're eating the dogs, Ciarnan, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the dogs.
You know that?
They were eating
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years will just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to the school. Recruits are going to see this.
You have, as some fans have put it, a mascot flashing their pop tussie out. Oh,
God, that's going to be part of our intro next year. Oh, shit.